viewers, welcome to CEC lectures. Myself Dr. Preeti Jagwani. I am from Department of Computer Science, Aryabhat College, University of Delhi. Presently we are going through our series of hypertext markup language, which is HTML, and in the previous lectures we have seen the concept of forms as a container box or as a simple container in which various elements will be there in order to accept the data from the user, and that data will be submitted to onto the backend, or we can say that data will be submitted to server with the help of some scripting languages or some other program codes. So presently we will be in this lecture, the agenda will be exploring the other form controls which we have not done till yet. In the previous lectures, what all form controls we are done with text as the simple input, then simple password enabled text or password fields, we can say. We are done with radio buttons and we are done with checkboxes as well. So now in today's lectures, let us start with some more text input controls. So typically we can say there are three types of text inputs used on forms. One is the single line text input controls, then password input controls, and multi-line text input controls. So single line text input control and password input control we have already seen, and we have also seen email based input controls. And today let us begin with multi-line text input controls. Now assume a scenario in which you want to take a particular input in the form of a paragraph from the user. So basically some details which require more than a single sentence. So for those type of input control we need the multi-line text input control, and this is basically created using the HTML tag, which is commonly known as text area. So when the user is required to give some details that may be longer than a single sentence, for example you want to say enter your description or enter a paragraph about yourself or something of that sort, then the situation is to use multi-line input controls, and these multi-line input controls are created using text area tag of the HTML. Let us have a look at this particular tag. So if you can see this code on the screen, this is doc type HTML, then we have HTML head and the simple title, then head closed, and we have started with body, and as it is a form control, this text area as a form element, this will obviously go inside the form, and then we have written description. This is just like a label. Then there is a text area which says rows is equals to 5, columns is equals to 50, and name is equals to description. And before closing that text area you have written enter description here, then the form is being closed, body closed and HTML closed. Now let us try to understand this particular text. So within the form we have written description. So description is the term which will be displayed as it is, and after giving a particular line break we are going to have an area which is of if I talk about in terms of height, or if I talk about rows, this will be as good as having the height of 5 rows and the width of 50 columns, and the name of this particular control we have given is the description. So now why this name is being given here? I have told you earlier that this name is required in order to capture the data of this particular control when it is to be done through the scripting language or other programming code. Then we can we could have simply closed the text area, but we have written enter description here, and then we have closed the text area. Now let us try to see how this this is going to give an what kind of output this code is going to be produced. So this is the result which will be given. So description as given in the tag, as given inside the form as the label we can say, and then there is a text area. So here you can say it is approximately it seems that it is 5 rows and 50 columns, and then enter description. Here is the phrase which we have written within the text area opening and text area closing text. So now here after deletion of this enter description, here user can enter the description whatever he or she wants to enter, or whatever your application basically demands. So this will be the result of this text area. Then coming to some attributes which we have used, this is about rows, columns and name. So basically let us try to understand what do you mean by rows here. That indicate the number of rows of the text area box. It is as simple as that. More the number of rows, more will be the height of the text area box. Columns indicate the number of columns of the text area box. Obviously more the number of columns, more will be the width here. Then we have name. Now name is used to give a particular we can say a variable name or name to the control element, and now this name will be sent to the server in order to get this particular text control, or in order to get this particular element recognized and get the value, whatever value user have given inside or for this particular control. So we can say for example name is description. So if we want to fetch the data, we can say description dot value. So this description dot value will be used as for fetching the data whatever is written inside this text area box. So this text area is simply having three we can say attributes. One is name, another one is rows, and third one is columns. So rows for the height, columns for the width, and name for its own identity. Having completed with this text area, now let us try to explore one more important element, or one more important control, which is select box control. Now select box control is basically you can say it is a drop down box. It is going to provide me a list of options in the form of a drop down list, and from which a user can select either one option, or a user can select multiple options also. Now that is up to the user, or that is up to the application what it permits. So basically a select box, also known as drop down box, provide the options to list down, and these various options are in the form of a drop down list, and from these options user can select either one option, or it can select more option as well if permission is given. And now coming to the code, if you can see this on the screen, it is having HTML head, a simple title, head closed. Within the body there is form. Now form, the name, a code goes like this. The tag here is the select tag. Along with the select tag, we have written one attribute which is name, and name is given as a drop down. Now whatever options we need to fill in inside that drop down list will take place inside this option tag. So after this select, now please notice there is select opening and there is select ending, and within this select opening and select ending there are two lines of code which are having options. So basically I have given two options here. It could be more options. For example, here I have given only two options. One is maths, another one is physics. So it could have chemistry, English, social science, and so on and so forth. So here how are we going to give this option? So select tag is going to give me the element, or the just the empty, I can say, control. Now I need to feed in the values into that control. So in order to feed in those values into this control, the tag is option. So it goes like this: option value is equals to maths, and then we have written selected. That means this value will appear as selected, only one of them you can have as selected. So either in front of maths you can write selected, or either in front of physics you can write selected. Then you have maths and then the option closed. Now let us try to understand what is happening here. So option is the name of the tag. Selected, that means it will be selected. Whatever is going to be displayed in front of that particular option, or whatever will be the caption of the option which a user is going to see will be maths and then option closed. Value is equals to maths within the double inverted commas means that, for example, whenever we are going to fetch the value of this particular control, if maths is being selected there, the value which will be accepted at the server end will be maths. So we can have it as option value is equals to maths subject 1. So if subject 1 is being chosen by the user, that value which is equals to maths will be registered against this particular option onto the server. Then the next option, then there is option closed, and the next line is option value is equals to physics. Value of this particular option is physics. Caption is also physics, and then option closed. So here we can have option value is equals to physics subject 2 and then option closed. So when subject 2 is being chosen by the user, the value which will be registered at the server end will be the physics thing. So subject 1, or we can say within the opening option and within the closing option, whatever text you are going to write will be seen by the user in the select control box. And then you have closed the select control. Here we can have multiple options. For the demo purpose I have taken only 2. Then there is form closing after closing of select, and then there is closure of body, and then there is closure of HTML. And what will be the result? So result will be something like this. There is a drop down, if you can see in front of inside of maths it is having an arrow. So whenever you are going to press that particular arrow button, it will give you 2 options, maths and physics, and you can select either maths or physics. And if there are multiple options, so for example I am having I want to ask the user what kind of car he or she likes, so we can have all the models of the car here. Or for example within a particular car, if I want to ask in that particular form, if I want to ask what are the options, what are the which color is his or her favorite, we can give that that colors of list inside this drop down box. So apart from these scenarios, this drop down box is having multiple usage. Now let us try to understand what are the attributes of this select tag, then what are the attributes of the option tag. So basically a drop down list here is consisting of 2 tags. One is the select, which is going to give me the we can say just the control blank, and whenever I am going to feed in the options, I will be using the option tag. So there are different attributes corresponding to the option tag as well as to the tag select. So let us try to explore select tag and its attribute first. So basically the first attribute which goes with select, which we have already used is name. So basically used name, as we have seen earlier also, it is used to give a name to the control which is sent to the server to be recognized and get the value. So this select control will be recognized in the name of drop down. We have given the drop down as the name. So the name of this select control will be drop down. So we can say drop down dot value is equals to maths, or we can have something like this: if drop down dot value is equals to maths, do this, or if drop down dot value is equals to physics, do this or do that. So in this way this will be we can say this will be used at the server end. So you basically the one attribute which we always talk about is the name. Then here within the for the select control, we have two more attributes. One is size. So size is basically a number. We can say size is equals to 5 or size is equals to 6, which is used to present a scrolling list box. So how many how many options you are going to see on the screen, that will be controlled by the option or by the attribute size. So if size is equals to 4, then 4 options will be there, but presently in our example, just for the sake of simplicity, I have given only only 2 options. So if multiple options are there, we can define size. So for example, let's say our select box is having 20 options and we want to see 10 options at a time and other 10 in the kind of scrolling manner. So size is equals to 10 will be defined and we can see the 10 options open at the in the control. Now the next idea or the next attribute here is multiple. Now if we can say multiple, then it is going to allow a user to select multiple items from the menu, otherwise it is going to allow only one item. So for example, in the present code we have not written multiple. So here if we can write select name is equals to drop down and then multiple, so that means we can select multiple options. But if multiple is not there, that means multiple options cannot be selected, only one of them is allowed to be selected. So the 3 attributes of the select tag. So please be careful here, what I am talking about is the attributes of the select tag, not the attributes of the option tag. So name is the first one for the recognition, then size, whatever number of the options you want to see on the screen, and multiple is to allow or disallow the user to select multiple items from that particular select box. Now after having this select thing, we can have options, or we can have attributes of the option tag. So option tag, as told earlier, is basically the tag which is given in order to populate that particular list, and one option for one item, then whatever the number of items you want to feed in into the control, that many number of option tags will be there. So with option we have the first attribute as value. So value is equals to maths, that's what we have used, and this is the, we can say term, or this is the value which will be used if an option in the select box is selected. So for example, maths is selected, so the value will be maths, or physics is selected, it will be physics, or vice versa. We can say if subject 1 is selected, the value is maths, if subject 2 is selected, the value is physics. Then there is option which says selected, and this we have used in our code as well. This is specified that the particular option should be initially selected value when the page loads. So for example, if I am going to write selected this particular term in front of physics, then whatever you see when the page loads will not be the option of maths, will be the option of physics. So selected specifies the selected value when the page is being loaded. Then we have label is, we can say it is an alternative way of labeling options, when we have seen many other labeling ways, so we can skip it here. So basically two very important attributes of option tag, one is selected for making the choice as the selected one when the page loads, and another one is the value. So now let us try to recall what we have seen in this lecture till this particular point. Is we have seen the text area and its usage along with its attributes of rows, columns and name. Then we have explored the select option select along with its option option tag and its the various attributes of select and various attributes of option as well. Moving forward, we are going to explore another control, which is file upload box. So file upload box is basically many times you have seen you need to upload a file, and then there is a button, or basically we can say there is a control through which you will be selecting the file. So whenever you are going to click on that particular button which says upload file, it is going to take you to the drive, or it is going to take you to select the files. So you can select the file and then click on the upload, and that particular file will be uploaded onto the server. So in order to create some such control, file upload box will be used, which basically allows a user to upload a file to the website, and what you need to do is you need to use a file upload box. This is also known as file select box, and mind it, this is also created using the input element, but the attribute will not be the text, neither the password, neither the email. It will be set to the file. Let us try to see some code corresponding to this. So we have doc type HTML, then HTML head title, simple things. Coming to the form, we have input type is equals to file, and name is equals to file upload, accept is equals to image, and then the form close. Now see what is happening here. The control is named as the input. The control is basically tagged as input control. Type is equals to file. So we have seen earlier various types, that is type is equals to text, or we have seen type is equals to password, and type is equals to email. So here the type is equals to file, type is equals to file, name is equals to file upload. Whatever name you want to give to the control for the purpose of recognition, that you can give. Then there comes accept. So here I have written accept is equals to image slash star. So star means all forms. So basically here we can say what what kind of file this control is going to accept will be image file. So the result which will be produced on execution of this code is shown on the screen. So here you have one we can say box in which there is a button which says choose file, and whenever we are going to press onto that particular button, this will take you to choose the file, and that file you can pick a particular file, click on the upload button as we do in the routine manner, and that file will be uploaded. Coming to the attributes, so one attribute is the name which we always use, that is for the recognition, and the next attribute is accept. So accept is basically accept is to specify the type of file that a server accepts. So this was we can say all about the file upload box. So in this lecture, let me summarize what all we have seen. We have seen initially we have started with text area, and we have seen text area and its attributes. Then we switched to select control. We have seen how to make a select box or make a drop down list, and then we have seen how to populate that using the option tag, and we have also seen attributes corresponding to both select as well as option. And towards the end we have also seen file upload box along with its attributes, and here is a list of references which is being used for preparation of this lecture. Hope you had enjoyed the lecture. Thank you for the patient hearing.